Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Hope everyone is doing well. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good Monday evening. I wanna get started to you. Hey there, Sister Davidson. Hope you're well. Hey, you know our routine, Kim. Let's do our roll call and let me know where you are connecting with us from. What city, what state? Hey, right hand. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know what city, what state you're connecting with us from, so we'll know. Hey, Indiana is connecting tonight. Indiana is connecting tonight. Where else are we coming from this evening? Auburn Hills, Michigan is connecting with us tonight on the scope. If you wouldn't mind, let me know where you are. Hey, niece of mine. Hope you are doing well, dear. Detroit is in the house on this evening in Taylor, Michigan. Hey, I'm glad to have everybody on. I want to use our time wisely together. I would like that for you to invite your followers. If you are team Droid, swipe up. If you are team Apple, swipe to the side. Thank you so much. I think I have something to say this evening. Very simple yet practical. So I'll dive right into it. I think that one of the most important things that we do as individuals is that of forming relationships. And when I say forming relationships, I'm specifically speaking of, it doesn't make a difference what type of relationship it is. We form relationships. We were not created to live alone. And I don't want to just specify intimate dating or marriage relationships, but I do want to highlight the fact of working with someone other than or in addition to yourself. And one of the main reasons why people may not have effective and wholesome relationships is because they are not committed to doing what is the root word of the word relationships. They're not committed to relating or always making sure that you're current as it pertains to relating to someone else. Anytime someone would take the position, well, that's just the way I am and that's the way I've always been and I'm not changing for you. What you're basically saying is that if the relationship doesn't come ready in the way that you like it immediately, then you're not really going to put anything else into it. I knew I wasn't going to get too many hearts there, but that's okay. Just stay tuned. I'm coming. So I wanted to just share just for a moment as it pertains to relationships about the evaluation of expectations. Because in every relationship, there is some sort of or some sense of expectation. You relate and connect to people for the sake of an expectation or an intended outcome. And with that in mind, if you manage it properly, and do it well and give your best to it, you may actually get more out of it than you intended to get out of it, which is a positive thing. And you may give more to it than you had initially intended to give, which is also a good thing. So I'm not trying to pitch the punitive view of relationships tonight, but really the positive view. So let's look at this. I believe then, as it relates to expectations, we form relationships and we expand what we're willing to give and what we're really willing to receive from any form of a relationship based on expectations. And expectations hinge on, if you allow me to say, in order for a potentiality to move to reality, in order for potentiality to move to reality, we have to consider capacity. All right, so this is where I need my scribe because I'm ready to dive in. I said all that to get to this point. If you're going to evaluate expectations, we've got to look at the word capacity. So I don't have 10,000 scriptures for you tonight. I'm trying to be as practical as possible because this is a tool that I use regularly. Thank you, right hand. This is a tool that I use regularly as it relates to how I evaluate my expectations of others. Thank you. Also, my sanctuary pastor and my friend. All right. So capacity. Capacity takes on several components. And the first component of capacity has to do with ability. When we have expectations in a relationship, we first of all have to assess someone's ability to be able to meet those expectations. If they do not have the ability to meet those expectations, which you might know right off the bat, and you might not know right off the bat, you will soon find out. Capacity has to do, the first component has to do with ability. And it's not just the other person's ability, but it's your ability to receive. Catch this. If you enter into some sort of a relationship, and once again, it could be a work relationship, it could be a dating relationship, it could be a marriage relationship, it could be that of a financial planning relationship. It doesn't make a difference, the relationship. We have to consider capacity, and there are 4 components. The first component is ability. We open up and we expect something out of someone based off of their ability to do what it is, either that what we think they can do or what they say they can do. All right. So catch that. It's based off of what we think or what we need them to do, what we expect them to do, or what they say that they can do. You have to be willing to receive. That is so important. You never enter any type of relationship where your needs are not met in the process. Hear what I'm telling you. This could apply. This is a universal tool here that I'm giving you tonight. You don't join a church if your needs are not met. You don't get into a social relationship if your needs are not being met. You don't put your money in a financial institution if your needs are not being met. You do not invest in a business if your needs are not being met. But in the process of your needs being met, you also are needed. You're necessary. And that is so important. Oh my God, I'm glad to have the apostle on tonight. Thank you, my friend. You're needed as well. So the first component is ability. The second component is availability. Please, please, please hear me. Do not eliminate good relationships, whatever the nature of them may be, because of what you perceive to be non-interest or lack of availability. Catch it. If your life is busy, please understand that somebody else's life on this same ship of relation, they might be busy as well. So as sure as you would want somebody to give you the benefit of the doubt, you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt as well. Because if you don't, it now turns into a lopsided relationship. And anytime you have lopsided relationships, expectations are sure not to be met or fulfilled. So we have ability, we have availability. The third component is that of opportunity. And I want to kind of go on a different spin tonight. I think a relationship, any kind, once again, any kind of relationship is worth pursuing when people have the opportunity, catch me, when they have the opportunity to fail. And not to be ostracized, put aside, kicked out. I'm done with you because you failed. Let me help you. You, as wonderful as you are, beautiful as you are, handsome as you are, talented as you are, gifted as you are, anointed as you are, paid as you are, educated as you are, you have failed, and somebody has given you the opportunity to fail, and they did not set you aside because they believed in your ability and your availability. So they gave you the benefit of the doubt to fail because you've already established a proven track record of success. Oh, this is good right here. Because you've established a proven track record of success, then somebody gives you an opportunity to fail. We don't look for failure, but we understand that because we are human, we experience flaws and imperfections and things of that nature. Sometimes we're going to miss the mark. And if I tell you the truth as it relates to expectations, let me camp out right here for a second before I get to the final component. And I so agree, Dr. Deborah. Some things we just figure out through failure. Some things we figure out, I'll say it this way, that usually we learn about people through discussion, through discovery, and through discernment. Let me say that again, because that was good. We learn about others through discussion, through discovery, and through discernment. I wasn't even going to talk about this tonight, but I think I will. So discussion is actually conversation, text messages, phone calls, inbox messages. Okay, so let me go on this temporary rant that's going to come all together. Deliver me from people who are so old-fashioned in your thought processing. Social media is good enough for you to push your business idea, but it's not good enough for communication because you used to people picking up the phone, because back in the day, we used to pick up the phone. Back in the day, we also didn't have social media outlets like we have now. And I am not knocking your preferred form of communication. Hey, I like to run my mouth there. Sometimes I don't like to run my mouth and I want to text. Some days I don't want to text. I truthfully don't want to be bothered. And if that's that way for me, I got to recognize that for somebody else. So when I call you, I'm not upset because you didn't pick up the phone because you might not be available. It's just the whole idea of giving someone the benefit of the doubt. So let's recap. Evaluation of expectations. It has to do with capacity. And there are 4 components of capacity. I've given you 3 thus far. The first one is ability. The second one is availability. The third one is opportunity. You got to give someone the opportunity to fail. They ought not feel as though being in a relationship with you is like walking on thin ice. Now, look, they ain't going to carry you and walk on thin ice at the same time because both of y'all going through the ice. So please, let's be understanding because you want somebody to be understanding of you. The 4th and final component of capacity is willingness. And this willingness is the 4th one. This is it right here. You could be talented, gifted, handsome, beautiful, what have you, sir, madam. You can have ability to wazoo. All right hand, I'm going to talk about you. We got to spell willingness correctly. Okay, you can have talent to wazoo. But if you don't have a willing heart, I'm serious, give your boss a break. Give your pastor a break. Give your baby daddy a break. Give your husband a break. Give your wife a break. Whomever. Willingness. And willingness does not say that you're a doormat. Because I'm not telling you to be a fool at all. I am telling you, though, that just as wonderful as you are, there are days that even you miss it, and you don't want somebody to set aside all of you for part of you that wasn't on point for that day, that moment, that season. And so with that in mind, we cannot be so quick to discard people. I just wanted to share this tool with you. I could have given you a gazillion scriptures. I didn't want to do that tonight. I just wanted to share with you, hey, evaluation of expectations. I do it all the time. And we have to do that because the thing about expectation is that it's a real thank you, Sharita. The thing about expectations is that relationships, because I told you that one of the most important things that we do as people is that we form relationships. Relationships fail. I guarantee you, I go back through any relationship of yours that has failed. I promise you it's fit into one of these 4 categories. Relationships fail because of unknown, unmet, unrealistic, or unspoken expectations. Let me say it again. Any relationship without, I'm almost sure, I'm just almost sure, they fail because of unknown, unmet, unrealistic, or unspoken expectations. And people meet our expectations based on their capacity to do that, which includes, but is not limited to, their ability, their availability, their opportunity, and their willingness. Look, if you have somebody who is willing, but they're not able, give them a chance. At least they're willing to get it. You have some people in your life who are able, but not willing, and we keep holding on to them, but we toss aside the people who are willing and not able. I'll never understand that one for the life of me, because at least if they're willing, that shares with me that they're teachable, that they're understanding, that they're sympathetic at some point, that they might be empathetic. And so it is so imperative that as we evaluate expectations of others and expectations of ourselves, that we consider our capacity as well. You know, what we have expectations of our job, but then we have to check our own self. What is their expectation of us? And are we able to do what it is they're asking us to do? Do we make ourselves available? Do we have opportunity? And I know I really harped on opportunity to fail, but it's not just opportunity to fail, it's opportunity to receive as well. So I didn't want to just harp on that. And are we willing? Because once again, if the expectations are not known, they're probably not going to be met. If they are unrealistic or unspoken, they probably are not going to be met. So where there are unknown, unmet, unrealistic, and unspoken expectations, you leave feeling empty. And so what do? The reason, one of the factors, and I'll say it this way, one of the factors, what happens when we do not evaluate our expectations regularly and properly, is that we set ourselves up for disappointment. Because we expect of others what they don't have the ability to perform. We expect of others what they don't have the availability to perform. We expect of others what we might not give them the opportunity to perform. We expect of others what they might not have the willingness to perform. And so we set ourselves up for disappointment. It's a tool that I use regularly, and it's not just what I use for others, but it's what I use for myself to check myself as a man of God, as a gentleman, as a businessman, as a man in the community, as a man to my male friends, as a man to my female friends, as a life coach, as an educator. I use this to check myself. And the wonderful thing about the tool is that you use it as often as you need to. So once again, this whole piece about relationships, it's not just about dating, social, marriage relationships. It is about any kind of relationship you have. Work relationship, neighborhood relationship, friend relationship. I don't know, whatever it is. You and your trainer, your personal trainer, look, if you weigh 300 pounds and you trying to be the biggest loser, and look, you might not drop down to 175 like you see on TV, but if your personal trainer helps you drop to 250, you have just dropped 50 pounds. Come on. And so I believe it's key. I just wanted to share this tool with you tonight. Thank you so much for your time. I will not keep you longer. I do appreciate your time. I want, please, for you to invite your followers. It is my joy to come to you every time I get a chance, especially on Mondays for our motivational message, Monday's motivational message. Hey, I want you to have a great week. Please stay connected with me on YouTube. Thank you. Right hand, please stay connected. YouTube, Nelson A. Henry, and Twitter at Pastor Nye. Hey, Minister Garrison, please stay connected. I love this. On Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Pastor Nye, N-A-H. On Facebook, you can look me up, Nelson A. Henry, Nelson A. Henry, my government name. And then on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel, Nelson A. Henry, with no spaces in between those. Hey, I've enjoyed this moment. I would that if you got on the scope later, not from the beginning, that you would go back and watch the scope in its entirety. This thing has blessed my life. I didn't really know what I was going to talk about tonight, and I was on my 10-mile bike ride today, about a couple hours ago, and this came to me. Hey, Francis, this came to me during the bike ride. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate access in your life. I promise you, as God helps me, one of the main reasons why I love this medium is because we hear, and I picked Monday on purpose. People have a hard time with Mondays. But I picked Monday on purpose. I want to motivate you from the start of the week. Once you've heard the word of God on Sunday, if that is your day of worship, we need the word to become flesh. We need it to make sense and be put in a practical way for us to be able to use this. I promise you, when you get off of this scope, you could take the information that I just gave you and start using it. And if you use that tool, you will see a change in your life. Hey, this is a great summer for us. This is a great summer and a great season of our lives. I really, really do believe that. And we are approaching officially the halfway point of this year. And even, I don't know if the first part of your year was good or bad, but if it was bad, it can go from bad to good. And if it was good, it can go from good to great. You just got to use these tools and the tools of others who you can. I am not the end all be all. The tools of others who you follow and you connect with. But you are not powerful if you have tools and you don't use them. Shame on you. It is the fool who will die of starvation in a room full of food. The fool will die of thirst in a pool. The fool will die and be shot when you're in a room full of guns that are all loaded and you won't use any of them, even if you accidentally shoot it. So it is then that when you're given these tools, you have to be willing to use them. And this evaluation of expectations is a good tool. Please do me a favor, share this with friends of yours. I'm going to put the YouTube, I'm going to upload it to YouTube and put the link on my Facebook page. So please share this with others for those who might not be on Periscope and might not be following me, but you want them to get the information. Copy the link from social media and send it through them. Send it to them through text, because I really want them to have this as we evaluate our expectations. Hey, continue to walk by faith and look good doing it. God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed.